Hi, David.
Hi, Rosabelle. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I sent you this news earlier. The headline was Swedish mum fined for cracking egg on daughter's head in viral TikTok prank.
Yes, you did send it to me. You didn't send it as a link, so I couldn't investigate further.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel like maybe I don't know my rights, and and I should investigate what legal action I could pursue.
I wish I'd never brought it up. Today's episode is about Topps trading cards. Does that elicit any kind of response from you?
What is the word? You said tops.
Topps trading cards. Have you ever heard of Topps trading cards?
I don't know what that is. I'm so sorry.
Can you have a guess?
TOPPS. Is it a sports thing?
Yes, it is. From what I can tell, it's like baseball. Americans love trading baseball cards and maybe basketball cards.
Oh, I know what baseball and basketball cards are.
So I think Topps is like the big brand over here.
Do you remember there were these really cool cards that you'd get in your little packet of chips that you'd have in your lunchbox called Odd Buds?
No, what were Odd Buds?
Never had Odd Buds? Okay, so they were these like imaginary creatures that they'd created for this series of cards.
Oh.
And, you know, like there were some special cards that had glow-in-the-dark paint on them, and some of them had puffy paint.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll send a photo to you so you can have a look at them.
I'm David Farrier, a New Zealander accidentally marooned in America, and I want to figure out what makes this country tick. As you probably got from that call, New Zealand had trading cards, but I'm not sure Topps baseball cards were a huge thing growing up because New Zealand doesn't really do baseball. While Rosabelle was collecting Odds Bods cards in her chip packets, I was collecting All Black rugby cards in my Weet-Bix, that terrible cereal we have down under. My interactions with Top cards had nothing to do with sport. I collected Topps X-Files and Jurassic Park cards as I was a massive nerd. But since I've been in America, I've vaguely clocked that Topps cards are a big deal. One old baseball card went for $12.6 million at auction 3 years ago. So, get out your best cards, make sure they're in mint condition, and get ready to trade, because this is the Topps Trading Cards episode.
Build professional skills this semester with Adobe Creative Cloud and create standout work both in and out of the classroom. Save big on professional creativity tools. Students get 65% off Adobe Creative Cloud, including Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, Acrobat Pro, and 20+ creative apps. No matter what project you're working on, Adobe Creative Cloud apps can help you take it to the next level. Visit adobe.com/student to learn more.
Flightless bird, touchdown in America. I'm a flightless bird, touchdown in America.
Rob, how are you?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
I'm good.
One thing about Rosabelle's call.
Yeah.
So she didn't know what Topps was, but she got the spelling right. T-O-P-P. She did a double P.
How the hell? I didn't even clock that.
So I think she maybe subconsciously
It was like she
knew.
absorbed it into her brain. I mean, she is smart as hell. And so it's just like in there. She just didn't have the association with like what the thing was.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I wanted to touch base on that article about the Swedish mum. Did you hear about this?
I did, only adjacently because of you.
Yeah, a few people sent it in. The headline was Swedish mum fined for cracking egg on daughter's head in viral TikTok prank. As some listeners will know, I cracked an egg on Rosabelle's head a long time ago now. She was preparing, I think, to go. The more I think about it, the more awful it was. She was getting ready to go out, and she had herself prepared, and that's where I got this urge inside me to just crack this egg on her head.
Yeah.
Anyway, she forgave me. A 24-year-old mum in Sweden has learned the hard way that chasing TikTok clout sometimes comes with a hefty price tag and a criminal record. Last summer, she told her young daughter they'd be baking an apple cake together for a wholesome TikTok video. Instead of flour and sugar, the little girl got an unexpected ingredient, an egg cracked straight onto her forehead by her own mother. It's a very dramatic article. Yolk dripping down her face, all for the amusement of the internet. It was part of a viral trend. I was unfamiliar about this trend, by the way. of parents pranking their kids by cracking eggs on their heads. Did you see this trend?
No, maybe you started this trend though.
Imagine if I accidentally kicked off this horrific trend of like traumatizing
Child
small
abuse?
children. Yeah, I will note Rosabelle is not a child. She is an adult. The video racked up 100,000 views. Not everyone was entertained. So one viewer reported the video to Swedish authorities. The cops, prosecutors didn't see it as a prank. So the prosecutor, Cecilia Anderson, told reporters, when I saw that video, I thought, you simply do not do that. I don't mean to laugh. You do not do that to a child. And I agree with this. To record and humiliate the child and then broadcast it to thousands of viewers, I find that incredibly degrading. I like to know I didn't record me doing it to Rosabelle.
But you did broadcast it.
I spoke about
to
doing
millions,
it. I spoke about it. At the time, it was for my own personal enjoyment, not to get like TikTok views. But maybe in another timeline, I would have filmed it. The mother, who remains unnamed, defended herself. This is a great defense that I think rings very true to humanity. Everyone was doing it, was her defense.
Oh, so she wasn't even like one of the first videos cracking the egg.
No, the wrong person commented on the video and it was all over. What do you so she was ordered to pay roughly $2,000 in damages to her own daughter, which is a pretty sweet payday for the daughter.
So did the money go to the daughter or go to like the city?
No, it went straight to the daughter. Which, I mean, I don't know how the Swedish criminal justice system works, but it seems like very specific. And if they have the time to do that, I like to think that Swedish society is like very peaceful and tranquil and kind of amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Should a parent be able to crack an egg on a child's head?
I mean, I probably shouldn't
I agree.
that, but I don't know that it's a harsh enough thing that unless like...
I think the thing, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, is the thing of like putting your kids on the internet in like these scenarios where the kid doesn't really like
consent
to it.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue, right?
Right. Yes. I think if you're exploiting the child, but I think for like a stupid little viral
joke.
video, that doesn't really count.
Yeah, there are worse things to crack on an egg than a head than an egg.
Well, or if it was an account that like every week they were doing this to the kid, then maybe
starts to get a bit dicey.
Yeah.
So Rosabelle, I would note I didn't film it, didn't humiliate Rosabelle on video, and she did forgive me. And I think if she brought this to court in New Zealand, I would play the clip, the phone call where she said, "David, I forgive you."
Yeah.
But now she's got this $2,000 figure in her head. She might change her tune.
With all of that said, I don't think I would do that to either of my children.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
Have you like done a prank? Like, what's the most intense prank you've done?
I mean, just like jokingly startling.
Yeah, like a little jump.
Yeah.
Or
like,
no eggs.
Yeah. I mean, Calvin's got such thick, long hair.
It'd
be like put an egg on your head. That it would. Yeah. But it would be messy. He would probably like it too.
I think Calvin would love it. He'd crack up, and then he'd do the same thing to you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Can we do one other deviation before we get into Topps trading cards?
The Pope?
Oh no, please. I mean, I want to talk about the Pope. Holy shit! Congratulations.
From Chicago.
First American Pope.
First American Pope. Pope Leo.
Which is an amazing headline.
Even better headline. Hold on.
Okay. I love this. I love this for you, Rob, so much.
So. Originally,
get out.
When the Pope was announced, the Cubs had claimed that he was a Cubs fan and they put it on the big marquee on the stadium.
Yeah.
However, it has since come out that he's actually a Chicago White Sox fan.
This is genuinely incredible.
So you got a Pope that's a Sox fan.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a bit about the Pope. Like, you're a fan of Conclave. I still haven't watched that film. But the fact we have a new Pope who is not only American, but a Chicago White Sox fan is insane.
One of Natalie's best friends is traveling right now, and they had tickets to the Vatican, happened to be then, and they were there when he was announced. And
when the white smoke came out.
Yeah. They just happened to be...
I also saw apparently Harry Styles is in the crowd as well, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church, I'm kind of fascinated by it all. Not a giant fan. But the last Pope seemed, he had some good, like, liberal values that he brought in. Didn't change a lot of things, but, like, talked a big game, which is great. And this guy, I guess we're waiting to kind of see what his vibe is. I know he did a lot of aid work outside of Rome, which is nice.
Yeah, I also, for the record, I don't know anything about this Pope other than he's
and
from
we're
Chicago and he's a
recording
White Sox fan.
We're recording this on Friday, May 9th at 10:49 p.m. Any scandal that comes out, we don't know about it.
We don't know about.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we both generally have some...
Yeah, we have apprehension.
With the church.
Yeah, but look at him. He seems cool.
I mean, he looks like he'd be friends with my dad.
Can I also tell you something that relates to this episode in a way that I find kind of incredible? Topps Cards have put out a Pope card for him. I've ordered one online.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I've ordered one online, and when it arrives, that will be my gift to you. Limited edition Pope card. First American Pope.
Is he wearing a White Sox hat?
He's not wearing a White Sox hat, but let me read from the Topps site. Topps now has released a limited edition trading card commemorating the election of Pope Leo. I can't read Roman numerals. The 14th?
Pope Leo the 14th?
XIV? That's 14, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Also, though, on the site, be on the lookout for the white smoke variation, which I love. So lucky collectors who purchase a card, and I'm hoping this is me, I ordered one for you. Lucky collectors who purchase a card can look for numbered editions and variations, including the white smoke short print, limited to just 267 copies in honor of the 267th Pope.
That's amazing. All right, we got to get into Topps because there's some of that.
Okay, I'm going to say my other deviation for the end of the episode. Okay, so Rob, I feel like this episode is going to be a bit of a show and tell.
Yeah, so we decided to try a format where there is no doc.
No doc.
And kind of both of us independently do a little bit of research on what we found interesting on the topic. Like, there's some of these topics are broad enough and specific enough to things that we experienced.
Yeah. And there's sometimes having a little week off making pre-produced documentary is like a nice thing for our entire little team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to make that as an excuse for why we are doing this.
It's true enough. It's my secret excuse. Yeah.
But we thought we could easily talk about this without talking to someone for Topps.
And also, I feel like for a topic like this, you know a decent amount about this because you're a fan of this to a point where, I mean, I can absorb more from you than I already know. That's for sure.
I don't know that's quite
you're too
true
modest
for this.
Okay, we'll see.
But yeah, I have personal history with trading cards and experiences with it, as do you. So we felt like this was a really good topic to, like, let's just shoot the shit and both find some information.
And I love going down internet rabbit holes with these kind of topics as well, because like things you don't really spend a lot of time thinking about, you suddenly go, this is an entire world that I did not know existed.
Exactly. All right, so then let's start there. Personal history with trading cards kind of in general. You begin because you're the American here. So I used to ride my bike to this little convenience store by the lake by my house. So idyllic. I mean, it was like a man-made lake. I take it back. It was a sewage treatment plant. I mean, yeah. But there was a cigar shop by the convenience store that I would go over, and they sold trading cards. And I was a 90s kid in the suburbs of Chicago, so it was Jordan era. Like, I had every single piece of Jordan memorabilia possible. I had like the jumbo cards, regular cards. Like, I was just doing some of this search on it, and I was like, oh, I had that. The memories just flooded back. Because my older brother in New Zealand, he played basketball. And that Jordan mania made it to New Zealand in a big way. And so I can only imagine what that era was like in Chicago. Yeah, like pre-emo music phase. Elementary school and below for me, like, was sports and Jordan. So there was the cigar shop, which also weirdly was rumored that the Capone family owned it. Amazing rumor to have. Iconic. I would go there and I'd buy packs of cards. And they also did this like mystery pack thing where they like papered their own packs, and it was like $4 for the pack, and you would maybe get like a super valuable card in that pack. So when you're talking about going into that cigar shop, it was, I'm guessing on the counter, there was like, they were in like foil, right? Well, they had the individual cards, but then they also had the foil packs.
Okay.
I'd get enough cards where they'd give me a cigar box to keep it, to bring them home in, which was also a funny thing for like a 9-year-old to have a little cigar box.
So they'd probably know you coming in, right?
Yeah. I ended up like becoming friends with the guy that was running it. And then there was another card shop next to the Dollar Theater that we would go to sometimes.
And that was specifically just for cards or
trading cards. And I mean, I think comics were always a little bit adjacent to that. But I do have this very vivid memory of one time there was this like mint condition box, Jordan collector box that was maybe like $200.
Oh.
And I remember my dad was so frugal, but bought it for us. Bought it for, I think, me.
Oh my God, what an amazing like dad.
Said it was like an investment though, and he was going to keep it.
Okay, wait. So he hands it to you, or
we went to the store together.
Okay,
and it was in the glass case, and we bought like, and like we never got to splurge. Like that was such a
and
prized,
that's a huge splurge.
Yeah, he just like kept it in his closet though.
So wait, so when could the kids when could you go and
you don't
see
open
this thing? It just sits there.
It's lost.
Oh my God.
Thinking about this memory.
Yeah.
It was like an old wound of like, oh, this
is
box of Jordan cards.
Yeah. This actually brings back an adjacent memory of I had a Hulk Hogan. So the very first collector's card I ever got. I was into wrestling for a short period of time, as probably a lot of kids were.
Yeah, it was too.
And I had a Hulk Hogan card because Hulk Hogan was like, at the time, was a pretty great wrestler.
Yeah.
And I had that card. And I don't remember why, but I think a lot of parents do this because like kids' this messy rooms. He went and cleaned and basically decided to just like throw out some of my things. And I think at the time, there was maybe a story going around in New Zealand, or maybe it was everywhere, where like wrestling was like a bad thing for kids to be into because it teaches them to be violent people. And I think I might be Pamela. I don't want to speak for you, but I feel
they were practicing focus on the family.
They were, focus on the family heads. And I think probably me being into like men sort of beating each other up was frowned upon.
Mostly naked.
Pretty homoerotic, oiled up.
Yep.
Lots of men on men action.
Yeah.
Anyway, my Hulk Hogan card got thrown away. And I remember that being the first time, I should probably go and talk to my therapist about this, the first time that I felt like anger,
deep rage.
Yeah, like rage, like this was my thing. And it was one little card, it was like that size. Mm-hmm. And that's still, I hadn't actually thought about this until recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I know like the importance of that kind of stuff.
And you have a case of cards with the sleeves and the like 9 on each. Like I had tons of those. Everything was like organized based on like players and team.
Let me explain this, and then because I want to know what you're into. Yeah. So essentially, when I was in New Zealand, I would collect X-Files cards and Jurassic Park cards.
Not the cards I was collecting.
No, I was very like pop culture related. I was obsessed with the X-Files. I was obsessed with Jurassic Park, and exactly the same as you. I'd go into a dairy corner store, and there'd be the little foiled cards. Mm-hmm. And I hate to think how much of my pocket money I was spending on those, but to get the whole set, you would often have to just get so many cards because there'd be doubles of things.
Yeah.
Eventually, I got an entire set of, and I've never felt more triumph over an achievement, an entire set of X-Files cards, an entire set of Jurassic Park cards.
So I think for the sports, it was a little different. Like completing the set was never a goal.
Interesting.
It was like, you want the Anthony Hardaway rookie card. That's got the like,
I see,
holographic print on it. So that was more like finding the rare card that was then worth a lot, but it's not like I ever went and sold them.
No, but it sort of justifies it, right? In the back of your head, it's like, I'm not just getting this thing I like. So in the future, it's going to be worth millions, which some cards are.
Yeah, which that was like all I would want to spend my money on, I think, at that time was like cards.
Stay tuned for more Flightless Bird. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Support for Flightless Bird comes from Shopify. Now, if you've shopped online, chances are you bought from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? That one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That is Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes it incredibly easy to start and run your business.
Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names to brands that are just getting started. I've built a ton of websites using Shopify to sell merch. And
yeah, you're a website guy.
The integrations and how easy everything is incredible.
Yeah, I feel like when you're setting up a store, the last thing you want to be thinking of is all the technical stuff behind it, and this just makes it happen.
Yes, exactly. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more.
And you can spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/bird. Go to shopify.com/bird.
Go to shopify.com/bird, shopify.com/bird.
Flightless Bird is brought to you by Spot and Tango. Now, Rob, we've talked about this before. I love your dog. It's a tiny, cute, little, beautiful creature. And I am led to believe that your dog eats Spot and Tango.
Yeah, since they started sponsoring the podcast, we switched over to Spot and Tango's Unkibble. And Huxley eats it up so quickly. We almost need to get one of those bowls that makes the dog eat slower. Because
like a challenging bowl?
She just wants to eat it immediately. Spot and Tango's Unkibble is everything regular kibble isn't, made with real human-grade ingredients and personalized to what your dog actually needs. It's dry food you can feel good about, and it's pantry-friendly too.
Spot and Tango also creates a custom plan based on your dog's age, weight, breed, and activity level. And they include pre-measured scoops so you get it right every time.
Huxley definitely can taste the difference with Spot and Tango's Unkibble. It's made with 100% whole, fresh ingredients, which Natalie really likes to spoil our dog. So this is perfect. Like real USDA meats, fruits, and veggies, but it's 40% less expensive than frozen food.
Yeah, it's like you want your little guy to be eating good food, not rubbish. Upgrade your pet's bowl with Spot and Tango Unkibble. For a limited time, go to spotandtango.com/bird and use code BIRD to get 50% off your first order.
That's spotandtango.com/bird, code BIRD to get 50% off your first order. spotandtango.com/bird, code BIRD.
Support for Flightless Bird comes from Mint Mobile. Now, summer is just around the corner, and the folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out, and getting your savings bod is in. I'm very into this because I do like saving money. The spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. I have swapped to Mint Mobile recently, and I was kind of blown away that I was paying, I think, over $90 a month for wireless, which I thought was just normal in America, but no, it's not. You can be paying a hell of a lot less than that. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for just $15 a month. And $15 a month is a lot better than the $90 that I was paying before.
The other cool thing about Mint Mobile is you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
Yeah, so switching is really easy, and suddenly you're going to be spending a lot less. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/bird. That's mintmobile.com/bird. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Was this the first thing that you collected as a human?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, same for me.
Well, so when we decided to do this episode, I bought a bunch.
So I've never taken notice of like the top sports cards.
It felt so weird to buy these again. Like I felt that same feeling from when I was a kid. As I was just like, I can just...
And describe it. It's like this weird joy you don't kind of get as an adult anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's this feeling you don't have.
Yeah, it's this like crazy dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And opening this, like,
oh, dude.
So this is the full top set, which to your point, I didn't know.
Yes, so
that wasn't a thing you did.
Oh my god!
But yeah, I'm used to these packs.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is I don't really know a lot of players anymore.
Also, it's the smell of these cards.
Yep.
Same smell as the X-Files cards that I would get as a kid. Where did you get that whole box from? Like on the internet? Or...
Just on the internet, yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball was like a little bit the focus, but it was mostly basketball, 90s kid cards. Oh, it's upper deck. Get out of here. This is not even Tops.
Another brand. Hoops?
Another brand. That was Upper Deck.
Okay. I'm curious about the other ones though.
I know. But okay, so this is the more traditional card packs. So these are unwrapped.
Okay, so you're rustling around in there.
Box of cards.
Yeah, so this
only
is the
4 in a bag. So here, let's open 2.
Okay.
Let's see.
God. This is my basketball card opening virginity. Yeah. Being the smell. Yeah, God, it smells good. Oh, these are foil guys.
Yeah.
So these are shiny. These are sparkly.
These were like, you'd maybe get one of these in a pack. And I've never heard of any of these players.
I've got 2 Jordan Clarkson cards. He's a player from Utah. Stats on the back, of course, so you're learning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rick Barry. I got an old school. Oh, look at this. I got Io from the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, beautiful. Your team.
Reggie Jackson. This one is the film study card.
Okay.
Which is an odd one.
What, pray tell?
So the back, Chet Holmgren.
Uh-huh.
Chet didn't play in the 2022 season, but he gave Oklahoma City fans a taste of his tantalizing skills in his offseason debut. The 7-footer scored 23 points.
7 foot.
This has nothing to do with film study.
Okay.
So I thought it was going to be that he
he was in like a film or, you know. Dude, I just love the smell.
Yeah.
Thank you for... Can I keep these?
You can keep those.
Oh my God, Rob.
I did get football just because...
Yeah, well, just...
Why not?
So it's mostly basketball, baseball, football, right? That's your trinity in America.
I had a hockey pack, but it was from the wrong brand. Because like Wayne Gretzky, like that was a coveted card too.
He's a player that is good.
Yeah, you don't know Wayne Gretzky?
No, I have no idea.
He's like the best hockey player of all time.
Okay, there is probably
he's the Michael Jordan of hockey.
Okay, amazing. As far as coming from New Zealand, hockey is, so I'm probably like insulting like a really great ice hockey team in New Zealand, but we just don't have it.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, more. Look at these.
They're beautiful. There's something about them. And as a kid, this was like gold.
I'll give you a football pack.
Thank you.
This is great audio content. Us opening packs of cards.
We'll do a supercut.
I mean, I think that was another thing that I was drawn to was the design of these cards and what probably led me down that path as well.
So I've got a few facts here that I found out.
Yes, I've got some too.
Baseball cards originated in the US in the mid-19th century during a time when both baseball and photography were gaining widespread popularity. Topps, founded in 1938 by 4 brothers.
As a chewing gum company, candy company.
Yeah, so tell me, this gets like very, very American.
Yeah, so it was a candy company and they used baseball cards just as like a sales gimmick, apparently.
You're right. So it wasn't about the cards. That was like a secondary thing to boost the gum.
Yes. And then their first major release was in 1951 with baseball game cards. And then Topps was the first trading card company to put stats and bios on the back of the cards.
And I feel like that's the thing that like made them that defined all cards from then on, right? That was the design. I looked into the gum that they started trading originally, and it was bazooka bubblegum. Small pieces of gum in patriotic red, white, and blue packaging.
Did you know what bazooka bubblegum was?
Never heard of it until now.
It was very hard and very chalky.
Okay, that doesn't sound pleasant.
Not the best gum.
Yeah, you had to like really work it like to get it actually bubbling. Sold for 5 cents. And then starting in 1950, started packaging them with trading cards featuring a Western character called Hopalong Cassidy. This is like the most American topic of all time, who at the time was one of the biggest stars of early TV. The father of the modern baseball card was Cy Berger. He was a 21-year-old vet of World War II, and in 52, he designed the Topps baseball card set. And that's, as you say, was the thing that kind of like defined the style.
At some point, they started making relic cards.
What's a relic card?
So they would have like game-used jersey swatches that they would put in the card.
I don't understand what you just said.
They'd cut like a piece of fabric from a player's jersey, and that was in the card. Or bats. They started using materials like silk, wood, plastic, metal, and like dirt from the stadium.
Human hair from the players.
Maybe.
It's kind of amazing. It's like very fan orientated, right?
Yeah.
It's like a way to get close to the thing that you love.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the collectible pieces that you love about sports, which sports collector items to me are still like this weird holy grail.
Yeah. Do you still occasionally look on eBay or on trading sites for specific cards if you're a bit bored?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
But I still like do covet that kind of stuff. Like we had Dwayne Wade on a podcast.
Yeah,
and
who's that?
He's a basketball player.
Okay.
Played on the Chicago Bulls for a little bit.
Okay.
And like I had to get him to sign a jersey.
Oh yeah.
Because like I want to put that in a frame and put that up somewhere, but also Natalie won't let me put a framed basketball jersey in the house
in the bedroom.
Anywhere.
Yeah. Where would it go? Maybe like should maybe let it in the bathroom? Maybe
no, like the garage.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
But I like have collected like I've got a Russell Wilson one.
Yeah,
I've got a handful that like Walter Jones. When we went up to Seattle, they gave us some jerseys.
I have my Walter Jones hanging in the wardrobe. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I never had a like. That's not true. I had some like Chicago Fire soccer jerseys signed, but like a framed sports jersey was like
that was the one.
Yes.
I think one of the best things about being an adult is being able to still hang on to like some of that fandom and to be able to fulfill some of it. Yeah. You know, like tell the kid version of you like what you'd be able to get now, like the signed jersey. They wouldn't believe you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was able to buy all these trading cards. Like I never was able to buy a box of cards. Like I got a pack of 10.
This is my full set of Jurassic Park cards. So I've got Jurassic Park in this album, and it's beautifully presented, I got to say.
Very beautifully presented.
And I got to say, like, the Jurassic Park, there were 2 sets of cards they came out with, but I'm going to say my crowning jewel is going to be the X-Files cards.
The X-Files.
I'm going to just hand those over to you. You can have a little look. This is my holy grail. Like, if the house was on fire,
holograph, yeah.
This is what I would take.
So that happened. Our house flooded in Chicago. My childhood home flooded, and all of my cards were in boxes in the basement.
I hate this.
So most of them got destroyed.
Rob, I'm so sorry.
But there were some that were like, this saved some.
Yeah, the Card Guard. Flightless Bird, brought to you by Card Guard.
This is a good segue.
Yeah, okay.
So,
no, hit me. You know,
go back.
Rob's got the clicker out for the presentation. Yeah, hit me.
One quick, weird, funny card. Do you notice anything about this Bill Ripken card?
I'm looking at Bill Ripken. Okay, I know nothing about baseball.
This is a 1989 baseball card.
Okay, so the only... What's on his bat?
Yeah.
Fuck face. Fuck.
This says fuck face on the knob of his bat, and this got printed.
This is really good.
Missed.
Amazing. So is this card, I imagine, like quite well known and sought after?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's really good.
Okay. Topps made a bunch of non-sports cards, which was more what you were drawn to.
Yeah, which at the time, I should say, I didn't even know they were Topps cards. I was like, these are X-Files cards. Until you raised this topic, I didn't know it was a Topps thing.
Well, I mean, I think that's the same for me. Like I was collecting basketball cards and baseball cards. I wasn't collecting Topps cards. So I think Topps was just the top.
Yeah, it was the top thing.
Which in 2022, Fanatics bought Topps for $500 million. So it's a big industry.
Yeah,
still.
That's insane.
They've been making cards for almost 75 years.
And it's kind of amazing. It's still going fairly strong, even though everything is like moving digital, right?
Yeah.
The fact all this stuff is still a thing.
These are 2024 season cards.
I kind of love that.
Apparently, they've sold tens of billions of trading cards.
Holy shit!
So,
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of kids like us, right? Like it was a thing.
So I did go through and look at outside of sports, what other cards? Did they do?
Oh,
so in 1962, there was a Topps artist and comic artist, Wally Wood.
Mm-hmm.
He made the Mars Attack set. Which
these are amazing cards, like very beautifully, very kitschy illustrated Martians invading Earth kind of storyline.
So this was 1962, and this is what inspired Tim Burton to make Mars Attacks.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Were these cards.
This is right. So that I thought Mars Attacks was Tim Burton like coming up with a completely fresh idea, but it was riffing on the Topps cards.
Yes. Yep.
This is amazing.
From this comic.
Because of course, the alien in this card, it's the alien I know from the Tim Burton film.
Yeah.
Which is I think we both love that movie.
Yeah, that movie it was, yeah.
That's so funny because I always think of movies like Transformers, right? Based on
toys.
Yeah, the toys. Based on a toy, Battleship. I never thought that anything was based on a trading card.
Yeah,
set.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And then the Garbage Pail Kids. Do you know about the Garbage Pail Kids?
I do. Since we started doing the show, I became deeply curious, but fill me in on what the hell is going on.
So apparently it was very controversial. And it was a parody of Cabbage Patch Kids.
Right, which is a topic that I want to do a standalone one after I learned that there's a place you can go in America where these dolls are essentially like birthed.
Yeah.
And you go and get them from like a Cabbage Patch.
And apparently there's been over 25 lawsuits.
Oh, because they're
just
because they're so sort of disgusting or riffing on other properties.
Yes.
Yeah, right, I see.
A lot of these ended up getting banned.
So essentially Garbage Pail Kids are just sort of illustrated kind of characters that are just kind of like in a very infantile way, like quite disgusting and gross. We've got Messy Tessie. She's a messy kid. Foul Phil looks disgusting. And Jenny Jelly, who's like a kid that's melting.
Yeah. So
were these around in your childhood? Like, did you know about these?
No. So this was 1985. These came out.
Yeah, okay.
So this was a little bit before my time. I mean, I know of Garbage Pail Kids, but it was not something that I collected.
So one thing, I read a headline when I was researching this as well, and Garbage Pail Kids did a series of cards that were like riffing on celebrity, and there was a Korean boy band, BTS, and they had a Garbage Pail Kids card, and they ended up, and I think the card was basically BTS, but like looking all beaten up and like munted, but they released that at a time when Asian violence was on the rise in America, and so basically everyone was like, guys, like love Garbage Pail Kids, but it's not the time to like riff on that. And they didn't mean to, I imagine, unless they're psychopaths. And so they withdrew that card. So obviously when you're making cards that are making things look disgusting, you're going to run into random problems like that.
I'm impressed though of like the edginess of Topps. Like
completely.
This corporation that's working with the NFL and Major League Baseball,
it's actually a really good point.
NBA are
like this is like
doing Mars Attacks and Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, completely. It's really deranged,
and it's like we brought a cool illustrator in.
Yeah,
and like these artists that are going to make these cards.
You're like deeply different audiences.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of different audiences, Topps then made the Enduring Freedom. This was in 2000s. And the Desert Storm trading cards.
Oh my! So this is full on.
So like, Desert Storm, you've got cards like Admiral Frank Kelso. Dick Cheney's got his own card. They've got helicopters and helicopter formations.
This is one of the most American things I've ever seen. Like this is patriotism to an insane degree.
Even better.
Oh,
Osama bin Laden got his own card in the Enduring Freedom set.
Holy shit.
You got George Bush. And also I want to note, it looks like they made 911 Osama bin Laden cards.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That is like beyond. I mean, I'm lost for words. It's like the perfect example of America is like you've got this war about nothing, and then to kind of like keep giving it the big thumbs up. It's like it's like parody.
Yeah.
Here are trading cards of this heroic thing we did.
Yeah.
And like not very subtle.
No.
Like we're going to make 911 of the Osama card.
Yep.
And also just seeing the card says President Bush addresses Congress, and in the top, enduring freedom with the American flag. It's a joke. It's incredible.
It's very American in the like collectible coins and like the but it feels also so different to me than what I think of Topps trading cards in general. Like I don't go directly to like moments.
I'm thinking like you're the Topps company and you're like, we need to release these things that are going to appeal to like as many Americans as possible.
Yeah.
And so you end up with these giant sports, but then you end up with very niche things like Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
And then I just wonder how well these like war cards even sold. Like who's buying them, you know?
I'm sure they did well.
If people are buying Trump's like meme coin, they're buying this shit, right?
Stay tuned for more Flightless Bird. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Support for Flightless Bird comes from Quince. Now, you know when a new shirt just becomes your go-to shirt and you just wear that shirt and nothing else? That's what happened when I picked up a few new pieces from Quince. They're the first things I reach for in the morning. They're lightweight, they're comfortable, and they're always on point. Quince has all the things you actually want to wear, like organic cotton silk polos, European linen beach shorts, and comfortable pants that work for everything from backyard hangs to nice dinners with your friends.
Summer is coming up, and it is nice to have some new wardrobe options.
Oh yeah, it's hot and it's sweaty.
And coming from New Zealand, you like to wear a lot of long sleeves and long pants, so Quince has been great for you to get things that are a little more fitting for where we live.
Yeah, I've noticed that you actually need shorts and t-shirts in this country because it gets pretty friggin' hot. Plus, Quince works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing processes and premium fabrics and finishes.
The other great thing about Quince is everything is priced 50 to 80% less than what you find at similar brands. So, David, you can do a complete makeover for 50 to 80% less than
Are you trying to give me a hint, Rob?
We'll see.
You look at me like, you need a makeover, dude. In all seriousness, I bought a bunch of their t-shirts and shorts because I do a lot of hiking and it looks good and it feels good and it's very airy and breezy and I'm very happy to have it in my wardrobe.
Elevate your closet with Quince. Go to quince.com/bird for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/bird to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/bird. Support for Flightless Bird comes from Smalls. Now, I am a cat guy, and in New Zealand, I always had cats. In America, I don't have a cat, but I have a neighbor's cat, Burley.
You're often cat sitting, I feel like.
Oh, I love cats.
Yeah.
Like people,
any excuse, you're like, I'll come over and watch your cat. Don't worry.
I want to be near a cat. And with Burley, I give him insulin shots because that cat is a diabetic. And that cat also needs a birthday present. It's coming up, and I am getting them Smalls cat food because Burley, he likes to eat, and he likes to eat well.
Smalls was started back in 2017 by a couple of guys home cooking cat food in small batches for their friends. A few short years later, they've served millions of meals to cats around the U.S. Plus, Smalls works with the Humane World for Animals. They've donated over $1 million worth of food to help cats through the Humane World for Animals. And they even give you a chance to donate at checkout, whether you donate $5 for flea and tick medications or $7 for vaccines.
Yeah, they're good people. I'm very into this. And as someone who loves cats, I actually showed cats as a child in New Zealand, by the way, but that's a story for another day. But yes, Smalls are good people.
Yeah, and after switching to Smalls, 88% of cat owners report overall health improvements to their cat.
I want Burley to eat good food, and so this birthday present, as I said earlier, is going to be Smalls. What are you waiting for? Give your cat the food they deserve. For a limited time only, because you're a Flightless Bird listener, you can get 35% off Smalls plus an additional 50% off your first order by using my code BIRD. That's an additional 50% off when you head to smalls.com and use promo code BIRD.
Again, that's promo code BIRD for an additional 50% off your first order plus free shipping at smalls.com.
Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
They also did American Pie set in 2001.
From the film?
Not the film. It was moments in U.S. pop culture history.
Incredible.
So they had like Evel Knievel, Disco, and they had a Unabomber card. Yeah.
You talk about Garbage Pail Kids being like slightly wonky.
Yeah.
The Unabomber's come up recently in a lot of dialogue because people are like rereading the things he wrote and sort of like with the distance of time.
Yeah.
And people are kind of reading that stuff now and kind of not just sort of dismissing everything, but at that time to release a card.
Yeah.
That's kind of like edgelord territory, right?
Yeah,
like, look at what we can do.
Was...
That is bizarre.
Yeah.
So Topps is quite a wacky company.
It
Kind of.
like
They've
it.
done some like quite wacky shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, when I look at my X-Files set in New Zealand, I never would have expected them to be doing
Osama bin Laden.
Osama cards. Because, I was watching the supposed war on terror, on the 6 o'clock news in New Zealand, never thinking the same company that made my X-Files cards were making President Bush cards. It's just bizarre stuff. Oh my God. Okay, so one thing I thought was worth doing with this topic, and it's with a lot of topics, I just love seeing what news headlines have cropped up recently about cards.
Yeah.
And the one that jumped out at me was a headline, why are the Menendez brothers on a basketball trading card?
The Menendez brothers?
I can't say that. How did I say it?
Menendez?
So you say it?
Menendez.
Oh my God, it's a word I can't say. They are on allegedly a basketball trading card. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're not basketball players. So this was an article that came out recently. And essentially they were in the back of Shot, not on a Topps card, but on an NBA Hoops basketball trading card. So there's a very rare card. And when the brothers went on that big spending spree after allegedly killing their parents, they went to a basketball game and they're basically in the back of Shot.
Oh, they're just in a Shot.
They're in a Shot.
Wow.
So it reminds me a lot of that like mistake of like having the baseball bat with the like fuck face on the bottom. It's just no one caught it. And I mean, why would they at the time?
Mm-hmm.
And it also reminds me of that. There was that case with, there was someone accused of murder, I believe, and they ended up getting them off because they were in the back of Shot in a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about baseball. What? Did you hear about that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, no, basically I'm going to butcher all the details, but my memory of it is someone was accused of murder. And they were like, no, I was at a baseball game that night, had no proof of it.
Yeah.
But then they pop up in a Curb episode where Larry, I think, takes he
takes a hooker
to a baseball game, an adult worker to a baseball game.
So he can use the carpool lane.
Yeah. That episode ended up getting this person off a murder charge because they could say, hey, I was at the game. Have you watched that episode of Curb? There I am.
That's great. I didn't
help the Menendez brothers.
Yeah, I didn't ever think of like accidentally getting in the background of any of these cards. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it was such an era where the kind of connectiveness was not possible with the internet.
No, totally. One person would catch an outrageous thing on a card. There's no way they can suddenly blanketly tell everyone that.
Yeah.
Beyond telling like a news station or a newspaper.
Or even find yourself. Like, I don't know anyone that was
completely
at a game that then... Yeah.
So yeah, I just found that card in the show notes for the episode. I'll put a link to that article.
I found a couple articles as well, but mine are more geared towards heists that happened with cards.
I love this.
So in July 2024, approximately $2 million worth of vintage sports card, including a rare Mickey Mantle card, was stolen from a dealer's display case at the Dallas Card Show.
Oh my God.
Jai, the owner of Legendary Cards, with a Z, reported the theft of a card case filled with dozens of valuable cards, which included several 1952 Mickey Mantle cards. The Mantle cards, graded PSA 6, which
sounds good,
was on sale for $175,000. Other high-value cards taken include a 1933 Worldwide Gum Joe DiMaggio card, a 1967 Tom Seaver rookie card, 2 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson rookie cards.
You wonder with that kind of burglary how difficult it would be to resell.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a black market for
them. Of course there is, right? Of course there is. Yeah, someone willing to buy stolen cards. Yeah.
I do have a question for you. Those were a ton of like very American athletes. Did you recognize any of those names?
None of it.
Okay, Mickey Mantle.
No.
Joe DiMaggio.
No, they all sound made up to me.
Jackie Robinson?
No.
Jackie Robinson was the first black baseball player.
Okay.
A very important sports figure.
Okay. I should say I'm not representative of like a typical New Zealander.
Yeah.
Like a lot of New Zealanders will be listening going, you're a fucking idiot. But for me, learning as I go.
So another fun one. So Anthony Curcio and Iso Bondarchuk were arrested in May 2024. So both of these are relatively recent for orchestrating a nationwide fraud involving sports and Pokemon trading cards.
Oh my God.
They allegedly misrepresented low to mid-grade cards as high grade by using counterfeit authentication labels.
Holy shit.
So they basically would take crappy cards and then there was like foil or whatever fancy things to make this card look more valuable. They would do that.
It's such a specific thing to get into forgery of.
Yes. And then so they would deceive buyers and put it into marketplace at inflated prices. And it results in over $2 million in fraudulent and attempted sales.
Holy shit. I feel like that headline is going to be like a Netflix like film at some point. It'll be dramatized.
Other crazy thing about this story, this Anthony guy, he was previously convicted of an elaborate armed truck heist in 2009, where he initially made his getaway by jumping into a river in a yellow inner tube and had like cables to a getaway car.
Incredible.
From that, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Yeah.
Where he wrote and illustrated over 20 children's books.
This guy is amazing.
And then marketed himself as a reformed motivational speaker.
You've just ticked off like a dream list of like American topics.
And then did all this counterfeiting stuff with the cards.
Holy shit.
So maybe a future episode on Anthony.
Oh, I want to talk to him. Like, that's a life well lived. Like, that's incredible. Assuming he didn't hurt anyone, I'm kind of like admire his like pizzazz at like coming up with ridiculous ideas.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. So the last one I have, this was from March 2025. So very recently. A man named Joel Brown stole nearly $10,000 worth of anime trading cards, including Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, from a store in Fairfax, Virginia. The front door was broken in, and Joel, the thief, was wearing a Spider-Man costume.
Oh, come on.
And took off with all the Pokemon products and trading cards.
See, it can't be like this stuff you think it can't be real, but it is real. It was his thinking I need a disguise, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to have a laugh at the same time.
That, and like the person that this trading card would be valuable to is like a guy that would...
He'd have the outfit.
Yes, he would already have that costume.
So potentially didn't even see like the humor in it. Which like, this is like, I have this outfit. Of course I'm going to wear it.
Maybe. I mean, it was definitely a disguise.
It's really, really good. It's really, really good. Not endorsing stealing at all or thievery, but they are kind of amazing stories. It's also, I feel like it's hard to get as upset when people are stealing such funny like bits of pop culture.
At the end of the day, it's like a little piece of paper.
It's a bit of paper.
That, I mean, I
feel like
that's devaluing art as well by saying that.
Yeah, like I know what you mean.
There's a lot that goes into.
Yeah, I know, but it is like you're not stealing like gold.
Yeah,
you're stealing a bit of printed paper. But then that's what money is as well, right? So it's like we humans just put the weirdest values on these like things we've all decided are going to be valuable. Oh my God. If anyone steals my X-Files cards, I would be fuming.
All right. So then piggybacking on like the value of these cards, I went through and I found the cards that sold the most.
Oh, my
so
dude.
The most valuable sports cards.
Okay, Mickey Mantle.
So this is Mickey Mantle.
Beautiful card.
In August 2022, this sold for $12.6 million. It's autographed, though.
Yeah.
So the autographed memorabilia was also coveted, too.
It had value.
I mean, did you see The Sandlot?
I haven't seen The Sandlot. I know it's iconic, right?
Yeah.
It's like a kid coming of age movie.
Yeah, and he steals his stepdad's Babe Ruth, which he's you. He doesn't know. He thinks it's Baby Ruth.
I see.
And all the kids in the neighborhood are like, what do you mean
Look
that
what you
Babe
have.
Ruth signed that baseball? And they hit it over the fence, and this dog gets it.
Oh, adventures.
And it's this like...
ensue.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But like that autographed baseball meant so much. So... in the 90s, when Dennis Rodman was on the Chicago...
This is a player I know.
Yeah. He was
mostly because he was an actor and turned up in these batshit movies.
Well, so besides the autograph, he also, at the end of every game, would take his jersey off and throw it into the crowd.
Oh.
And like that was another dream of like a Chicago kid who's catching that sweaty jersey from Dennis
horrific
Rodman.
jersey. I just also wonder, when you spend $12 million on a card, where it goes. Like, is it going in the safe? Is it displayed somewhere? It's tiny. It's a tiny object.
I would imagine it's like art dealer. Like if you buy a painting,
yeah,
it goes in a crate somewhere, or on display.
Holy shit.
Okay, so this is a Mike Trout 2011 Topps card.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
Sold for $3.9 million in August 2020.
What? Is he he's an amazing player, I'm assuming?
I think he still plays too.
Yeah, right.
And
a lot of money.
Third most is another Mike Trout card. So this was a 2009 Bowman Chrome draft Mike Trout card. So it was before he was even on the team then. Because if the 2011 was his rookie card,
right.
This was prior and it's autographed by him.
Holy shit.
I mean, a lot of these valuable cards were like grabbing the rookie card before they then became what they were. Like the Michael Jordan rookie card was what you wanted. Like you wanted to get that in 1985 when he got drafted.
Yeah.
And have held on to it. And then it turns out that like it was like an investment.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's also a gamble because you don't know what players are going to end up being amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking now of that, like those cards that your dad got.
Yeah.
That were like hidden away.
Yeah.
Like what potentially was in there. It feels a bit like when people invested in Bitcoin and like they just lose access to it and they're just always going like, I had this thing.
Yeah.
Have you quizzed your dad about it at all?
No. I don't think so. No.
So sad.
I can call him at the end of this if you want and
I'm
see if
deeply curious. I'm curious of his memory of that investment and whether he genuinely, what his deal was.
Yeah.
I would love that.
All right. So then this was a 1979 Wayne Gretzky rookie card.
Mm-hmm. I like the beautiful blue. It's a different vibe to the other cards.
This is hockey. He's
That'll
player,
explain it.
Baseball player.
It's not nice. It explains it all.
This sold for $3.75 million in May 2021.
Mind blowing.
Which it is crazy that like I felt like we had already passed the peak of these being valuable.
Yeah, they still are.
But these are 2020, 2021, 2022 sales.
My God. Yeah, it's not like we're talking about something that was huge in the 90s or the early 2000s. It's all still this huge thing.
And then this was a Reggie Jackson
I feel like I know that name.
Rookie card that sold for over $1 million in a private sale.
Far out. I mean, this is potentially something that you should get back into, Rob, this scene. It's like, it feels like if you got the right thing. We should comb through that complete set you just bought. Check there's not some like super amazing card in there somewhere.
Yeah, if you sign up for our Patreon, you can get 3 hours of David and I going through 700 Topps trading cards, deciding what's valuable or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think this whole thing is blowing my mind because I kind of felt like this was a thing of the past because I associate it with collecting when I was like a teenager.
I agree.
In New Zealand.
It is crazy to think that things go on beyond our interest in it.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, how does that happen?
Yeah.
How does that work? If there is ever a big trading card like show going on in LA, I feel like one of us should go along and check out the scene because no doubt the characters there would be amazing. The stuff on show, the expertise would be amazing.
Yeah.
I want to get in amongst that level of like fandom.
I don't want to get like hooked on it is the problem.
That's the danger.
Even seeing this, like I have no illusion that I'm going to find a Mickey Mantle rookie card in one of these packs and then go sell it for $12 million, like best case.
No, but it's what you talked about when you opened that box before. It's like it unlocks this weird, it's like time travel back to that excitement of being a kid. And it's kind of amazing that still like exists.
Yeah, this like weird wonderment that you had then.
It's wonderment.
Like,
it's like wonderment.
This is possible.
Yeah, we don't get wonderment
no.
anymore because we're just like jaded and old. It's sad.
Well, and I'm not sure that there's a way for us to establish new wonderment. Or maybe we're both just clinically depressed.
No. No, I think you're right, though.
But it's like we have to tap into old wonderment.
I think you're completely right.
If we can just grab
extract
on any of
a tiny bit of that feeling. No, I think you're completely right. I think it's a thing that can only happen when you're getting those like thoughts for the first time and those like hormones for the first time and your body is like in a certain way. We're numb now. I don't think we can get new wonderment.
I mean, well, let's try. So I for you, I didn't want to just only do sports cards, so I did the non-sports cards that sold for the most.
Rob, I love you, Luke. Of course, they did Star Wars.
Okay, so if the other one sold for 12 million to 1 million, this is the card that sold for the most.
I would say a Skywalker card. I would put it in the realm of 7 million.
$55,000.
Oh, holy! That is
So I think the jump from sports to just collectible.
I'm shook because Star Wars is Star Wars, and it's Skywalker.
The cool thing about the cards is like the athletes add so much value to it besides the actual like physical thing.
I guess athletes have a backstory that Americans get so invested in because they have like a favorite team and then a favorite player.
And that feels different than like this written character that this actor is playing.
Luke Skywalker's not real? What the hell?
Sold for $55,000.
Yeah, wow. Okay, this is a Garbage Pail Kid of a sort of an intense Dracula type character.
This is a 1985 Garbage Pail Kids of Nasty Nick.
It was apparently a big, horrible vampire. I'm not thinking what, like $3,000?
$40,000.
Okay.
For this. This was the 1962 Mars Attack, the first one, The Invasion Begins. This sold from $30,000 to $50,000.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not going to complain if I have that card and I can sell it for that.
Yeah,
but
that's
still.
great. You bought that for 5 cents probably in the 60s.
Yeah.
This 1985 Garbage Pail Kids.
Atom Bomb
sold for $30,000.
Yeah, right.
I also believe these are stickers.
Oh, you can see a peel here?
Yeah.
Little sign? Yeah.
So
imagine if you saw, like maybe for the first time, you were like listening to this episode and watching this, and you had that, and you just like peel the sticker off and like stuck it to something like 20 years ago. Yeah. You know, you're like, damn it.
Last one was a 1977 Star Wars C-3PO.
Mm-hmm.
This card was printed in error.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see anything?
It looks like C-3PO has a massive erection.
C-3PO's golden rod error.
Okay, can you explain what is going on here?
I mean, I think it was just like a behind-the-scenes shot that they took of C-3PO.
And it looks like his, like, sort of his abdomen area is sort of like something's come off a little bit,
It looks
right?
like he has an erection.
Yeah.
Yeah. It apparently just got through, just like the fuckface bat.
It's really, really incredible.
Yeah. This one sells for $1,000 to $6,000. So
as it should.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first thing you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which I've never thought about C-3PO's
reproductive
gender
organs
before or anything. It's like, that's just wild to me. I love that. Rob, yet again, your presentation has just knocked my socks off.
I wanted to come a little prepared.
Oh, no, it's incredible.
For this unprepared episode.
I mean, I like that I have gotten wonderment for the first time. in a long time. So thank you for that. And I think I'm probably going to log onto eBay and kind of like see what there's a second series of X-Files cards that I never collected. And I'm kind of curious to see what they're going for.
So are you still stuck on the like, I want X-Files? And so it's not a value thing. You're not like, I want to go try to find a Mickey Mantle.
For me, it's purely like tapping into the wonderment of childhood. It's that whole thing. Yeah. I just don't really, I mean, if I had an expensive card, it would be great, but it's definitely not the reason that I'm doing it.
And then do you think it's exploitative of the sellers to then like jack up the price of these, or it just makes it rare? And
no, I feel like that's part of what makes the scene kind of fun in a way of like, if they have something special and they can make money off it, I say go for it.
So your goal is just to collect as many, like, what's your end game? You want like 50 of these books full?
All I want in my life is I want the full second set of X-Files trading cards. And that's just because that was something that I wanted when I was a kid. I don't really care about any of the new stuff that's been released. It's purely that thing of like, it's like a completist thing.
Yeah.
But at least I have an upper limit. It's only that second season.
Void that exists inside of you.
It's the little boy that's inside of me. Yeah.
And what would you do with it once you had it?
I'd put it into my card guard folder. And anyone that comes over to my house, I'll be like, do you want to see something cool? Like, come into my bedroom. And I would get out the card guard and I would make them look at every card. I'd explain like the coolest cards, the foil. I'd go through the foil cards specifically that are really cool, and just talk about like my love of the characters.
Would you ever like pull them out not to show people, like at night? Are you gonna open that up and look through them?
Sometimes
you do that stuff.
Fuck you, man. This is exploitative. No, there are times when I'll be at home alone and I'll maybe once every couple of months, I'll get out the card guard and I'll just sort of sit and I'll have wonderment by looking at these cards, and it's like flashing back to childhood. Yeah, and I'll just be sitting there looking at them. Yeah.
All right. That's sweet.
It's just such a funny thing, thinking of like that scene of someone walking in and just seeing me doing that,
sitting on your bed.
It's really good. Oh, always. Yeah, of course.
Your book.
And they are in my bedroom, so it is like so childlike.
Yeah. You know you can leave them outside your bedroom. You have your own apartment that no one else lives with you. You don't have to protect them in your room. But I get that. Like, I had them under my bed, I think.
It's funny. It's just like, this is in the room. It is interesting what you choose to put in your bedroom as opposed to the rest of the house. Like, what defines the things that is like, for me only.
Your most protected
kind of. Most protective assets. You're the most private things. It's really interesting. Email us, please, if you like. I'm kind of curious, like, what cards people have.
Yeah.
Or maybe even just like what that precious collection is that you have. Flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com. Right in.
And if anyone has any leads on the X-Files Season 2 set?
Season 2 set. That's what I'm after. Yeah, I got all of Season 1. I just need when I say season, not like TV seasons, but there's like the first set of cards and then the second set. That's what I really want. That'd be amazing. Thanks for coming along with us on this journey into Topps collector's cards. Email us always. Flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com. I had one final curiosity I wanted to explore, unrelated to any of this. Tune out now if you don't want my rambling, but I'm kind of curious about this. I've been thinking about it a lot. I was going on a walk yesterday morning. Yes. I sent you this photo.
Mm-hmm. You warned me when you sent me this photo.
I did, briefly. I just thought your kids might be around. I don't know. But no, I was walking along and there was, I'd sort of describe it as half a deer. We live in sort of suburbia, but obviously Griffith Park is nearby, so there's nature. I imagine it got hit by a car at some point. But this thing was by the side of the road and it was
like hollowed out.
It was hollowed out. It was like sliced in half and hollowed out. Anyway, I took a photo of it. I thought it was kind of horrific but beautiful, and I was also very curious, like, what had happened to it. And so I put it on Instagram, and I found the reaction. I knew some people would watch it and not be happy about it, but I was just really interested in this really intense reaction I got from some people, which was like, how dare you, like, put this in front of me? Like, how dare you do this? And it got me thinking about a few things. One thing was like, what happened to that deer?
Yeah.
A few people messaged saying like, It either got hit by a car grill and kind of sliced, and then got hollowed out by coyotes and other things. Another really fascinating thing that a few people said was there's sort of a thing in America called, they call them urban harvesters. And they're essentially people that if there is recent roadkill, they will get out their carving knives and essentially be like, this is perfectly good meat, so let's slice it up and take it home and eat it. So I'm really curious about this whole thing now.
I can't imagine that's happening in Los Feliz, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about this, flightlessbirdchat@gmail.com. But I did kind of think, I just found, and it's something I keep thinking about now, is it's this thing I feel like most of the comments from people that were like horrified that I'd posted it were American. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of got me thinking about this. I think there is this thing in America where this idea of being like forced to think about death or something unpleasant is kind of like violently sort of, it's like people don't want to see it.
Yeah. I also get how some people scrolling through Instagram maybe don't want to see this horrific photo unprompted.
I get that to a point, but I'm like, why is it horrific?
If you were Cheyenne and like taking beautiful photos and like that's what someone was subscribing to and following is like, and there's this like artful, tasteful.
Oh, so you think it's more like I would actually argue, because I actually think the photo that I took was kind of beautiful.
It was. I agree.
But you're saying it's more the format. So people.
I think it's more just the context, to be honest, of like it popping out of nowhere. Like I think had you put like a text slide before that was like, this might trigger some people and be a little too graphic.
Which I did in my story.
Yeah.
But not on the grid.
Yeah. I think if you did that, you would have had no problem.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, you would have still probably had a couple annoying people, but I think it was people felt violated that they didn't have a choice to decide if this was too gross for them or not.
Yeah.
You did.
I know what you're saying. No, I agree with you. I'm just trying to think why some things are deemed like I can't see this thing. Well,
I think there's definitely a cultural element to it as well, which is what your larger point and experiment with it seems to be. If you were like a dude in Wisconsin that was a big game hunter, and your followers are all hunters, and so I don't even know that it's necessarily American.
I think it is. I'm gonna push back on the American.
But
thing.
I think if you were a hunter and that was what your account mainly was, no one would care at all about that. That's what they would have expected from that account. So that's what I mean. I think it's context and expectation of. Like, you love animals.
I do.
Like, more than anyone.
Yeah, I post a lot of cute animals.
So then posting one ripped in half.
Yeah.
You have maybe a bunch of animal lovers also, because that's a lot of your content. They don't necessarily want to see that as well. I just think
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And that's what the knee-jerk is. I guess what I'm kind of thinking through is like, I think something about me disagrees with the idea that that's how life should be, that you can only see like the nice things. I think I have this strong like internal belief that if you like seeing nice fluffy things, you should also know that like this is kind of part of the system and how it works. People got very worked up. And again, I'm not pretending like, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't get worked up. Like I realize that animal death is like something that viscerally makes some people be like, I never want to see that again. I guess I'm just sort of thinking like why we're at this point where there is that reaction to it. I just hadn't thought about it a lot before. And I was being provocative. Like I'm not like shocked people are negative about it.
No, and I don't think most of your followers are that shocked that you did that. I think they're more shocked by the image. And
by the image itself.
It's very much something David would do.
It is, yeah. And again, if you are an urban harvester, like if you're someone that is out there that knows more about this, I would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and I would just imagine a lot of your followers, though, aren't following you to look at provocative photos.
No,
but they're maybe following you to have their beliefs like challenged or have this intellectual debate.
Yeah. And a lot of it as well is obviously why people are following me. If people are following me for like a wacky, lighthearted podcast or something.
But you get bitten by a squirrel.
Yeah, that'd be a shock. There was one guy that messaged me, Steven, he's an American guy, he said, I have a very distinct memory of visiting the Wellington Zoo, that's in New Zealand, when I was studying abroad and seeing a zebra leg in the lion habitat. And at the time being shocked, but also the fact that you would never see that at an American zoo. And I thought that was kind of an interesting kind of idea of like this idea of things being like a bit gore being kind of hidden.
That is definitely true. Like I also have a memory of like we didn't see a bunch of that. But then I remember one of the first tours that I did with this band, we went up to Wisconsin and it was like hunting season. And we saw and everyone besides me in that band was vegan. And we're in this like 15-passenger van. And you just saw dead deer strapped to trailers, to tops of cars with like tongue hanging out, like
pretty
really
visceral
and gruesome. And like that was the first time, other than like seeing occasional roadkill, that it was like, oh, that is everywhere. But that was to my point that like I think there are parts of the US and America where like seeing that would have been totally normal because they're used to it. It's just the people that follow you maybe aren't the like rural hunters that like worked on a farm and had to put an animal down.
Yeah, most of the people following me are definitely like city dwelling, fairly left leaning, they're not out like butchering animals every day.
So it's a shock to them to see this animal.
And I guess that's ultimately my point. I think like they should be shocked, but also
being shocked is not a bad thing.
Why they're shocked and realize that, oh no, this is just kind of like life. And I think it also like what it also made me think about a lot as well is I feel like I kind of got the snapshot of why. I don't want to pin it all on America, but I think like when there's like thinking about Gaza and how people are just so, I think people are so
avoidant.
And I think that's what it comes down to. It's just me clocking. I'm just stating the obvious here, but it's like how easy it is to just go, I don't want to see that. I don't want to think about this. I have a nice life. Just keep it out of my vision. And I guess my attitude to life is like, no, fucking look at this. Because I think part of the deal about like living on the planet and having a good life is like that doesn't give you a pass to ignore all the horrific shit that's going on. Which is coming from a place that's like, how can I talk? Like, I'm just fucking on Instagram. You know, I'm another asshole giving their hot take on it. But that's kind of what it reinforced to me.
I think that's a valid point.
Yeah, it's I think my background as well, my dad was a veterinarian, so my kind of perspective is like I grew up with a lot of animals, but I also saw like a lot of like the sort of more awful end of like all that stuff where like it wasn't all like wonderful because when you're trying to like save animals.
I guess relating to some of the people that were shocked by it, that's a vivid memory seeing all those dead deer.
Yeah,
like,
it sticks.
If that's the first time they're seeing roadkill up close, like
totally. They might never have seen it or thought about it before, and they're just like,
oh, here's this thing ripped open. It's gory.
One last comment, a veterinarian wrote in to me on Instagram, and I thought this was kind of interesting. As a nurse, I've seen more death than most Americans can even fathom. The way our society is divorced from death is one of the biggest problems in my job. Death is inevitable. I think it's unnatural that the average person here hasn't had someone die, really seen it happen in front of their eyes before the age of 40. And I just thought there was like another interesting comment from someone. Anyway, enough about death. I just thought it was like a really interesting thing. And I'm also genuinely still curious, like what the fuck happened to that deer? Because it was like, I'm walking through the middle of suburbia. It's sliced in half. Its entire body cavity was empty. I'm like, is this a chupacabra? Is someone like hunting? Is
it a Bigfoot?
Yeah, is it a Bigfoot? Is someone hunting? Do I just not understand like how like crows eat everything? I don't know.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. I'm still thinking about it. And that was the Tops Trading Cards episode.
Should we call my dad?
Let's call your dad.
Hello. I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
It's for the podcast.
Okay.
We're doing an episode on Topps trading cards. And talking about collecting cards.
Yeah.
And I had a memory of... There was a time when we were younger, I think we were about to go on vacation, And we went to that trading card shop right by the South Barrington movie theater, the Dollar Theater.
Okay.
And we bought this box of Michael Jordan cards.
Yes.
That was going to be, you said it was going to be an investment because it was more expensive than we normally would have bought.
Right.
Do you remember this?
I don't remember buying it from the store, but I do remember and still know where that box of cards is.
Oh, you know where that is still?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought we lost that.
Where is it?
Yeah, where is it?
It's in the safety deposit box. Oh, shut up, David.
Has it ever been opened?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think the plastic wrap had been open. I thought we had lost it, and it was still haunting me.
Did not lose it.
What's your plan for it?
Tell me what it's worth, and I can make a plan.
So you're still treating it as an investment now.
Yeah, as opposed to taking it out and letting the kids play with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. What do you think it's worth now? Do you remember how much it cost?
I don't think it was that expensive. I mean, if I had a guess, I would have thought about $30.
Oh, 30? I thought it was like 200. Well, at first I thought it was $40, but then I was like...
Yeah, I mean, 30, 40, somewhere in that range wouldn't have surprised me. I doubt more than that.
And what do you think it's worth now?
No clue.
What if you had to guess? If you had to hope what this $30 or $40 investment in 1995 is worth now?
500.
500? Okay.
What else is in the safe?
Yeah, what else is in that safety deposit box?
My birth certificate and yours and all the other kids.
It's at the bank or it's at the house?
It's at the house.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right. That's it. Maybe I'll buy that from you for $500 if that's what you think it costs or what it's worth.
No.
Oh, what? Yeah. Is it ever going to be sold?
Really worth, and then I'll decide what the cost is.
Well, send me a photo of it. I'll try to look it up.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Good talking to you, no matter what the subject.
All right. Bye. Wow.
That's the perfect out. I mean, how do you feel? Like, you still got it? You thought it was lost?
I thought it was lost. I'm not any closer to it being mine, though.
Dude, I think if you want to experience the ultimate wonderment, you need to go and get that box again.
Well, but then the question is, like, do I open it now?
You can never open it.
It's in the plastic
No, you
wrap.
can never open it. The wonderment is just not knowing, like knowing you have it and not knowing what is in there. That's the wonderment.
It's also probably only worth like $80 now.
You don't know. I remember your slideshow.
I didn't see any Michael Jordan cards on that top list. All right, one last thing before we go.
Mm-hmm, please.
Since I got all these sports trading cards, I didn't know which ones you were into, but I had to get you like a nerdier one. So here's oh
my God.
Here's a box of Topps Star Wars.
Rob, thank you.
Trading cards.
And you know what? I have a few extras, doubles of my X-Files trading cards.
Wow.
From when I was...
that whole thing is all doubles?
These are all doubles.
Wow.
I'm just going to give you...
Just one.
No, I'm going to give you a cool one. I'm going to give you a set of the Lone Gunman.
Ooh.
And Agent Skinner. Inhale those. It was a great spin-off show with those characters in it. So those of you, Rob, thank you for these Star Wars cards.
You're welcome.
Treasured. Going straight into the bedroom.
I also thought this was David Cross when I saw it in your book. I was like, was David Cross on X-Files that long ago?
Walter Skinner, FBI director, amazing character. Thanks, Rob.